printed only.
Yeah, because it was just one. It was the purchase agreement for the plant.
Well, I guess compared to fuel, that's cheap.
On number 6, I don't have anything.
We'll move to number 6, Auditor's Office will discuss drainage matters.
I don't have anything.
Anybody else?
Not today.
That's not on the agenda. We
Good.
can talk about that now. Since he's not here.
No.
7.
Or number 7, discussion regarding DD 37.
It was brought to my attention from Lahar Construction that there was a huge washout in the main tile that goes into DD1. And it's going to take quite a bit to repair, bring in dirt. Possibly we can clean out some of the open ditch of one, bringing that dirt to use.
Where's it located at?
You know where the new arch pipe is by the bin site?
Mm-hmm.
West of there, I have pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Matt and Adam took me out there last week, and it is huge.
I stepped it off. It appears like there's exposed pipe for 120 feet
Okay.
at an angle.
And
Better
it's,
than it looked.
how deep do you think, Terry?
It starts probably about 8 foot and goes down to, depends on what the outlet's supposed to be for depth. I'm sure it's 12 feet, it's supposed to be, but it's dropped down to probably 16, 20 feet now.
Yeah. So it's going to be quite an expense. It won't be the construction level, so we don't have to get an engineer, and it's a repair. But I would like to suggest that we do have an informational hearing with landowners once we get the estimate, so that they know
Shots. This is
How much?
at the bank,
it might cost.
looking down,
DD 37, it's a
there's
tile
a
system.
surface pipe.
I think Matt had talked to you
This is
about
the
it.
one that collapsed.
Oh,
Big,
yeah,
huge
The
washout.
big old open
Yeah,
hole.
it's
yeah.
huge.
There's the date stamping on the
Huge.
pipe. It was installed
I got some
probably
How
late
big's the tile?
1969.
Well, the tile's still there. It's just
Right
not
before
that.
my dad bought it.
Yeah.
Instead of up,
How big's the tile?
I don't know.
It
What's
looks
the
like,
start?
at least, we could probably look it up
I was
online.
guessing it was, looked like it should have been a 16 or 20, wasn't it?
So
If it
it's,
sucks.
No, it's bigger than,
yeah,
bigger than
it
that?
starts
Yeah, it's
here
big.
and then
The
scrolls.
hole's so big it
that
just
way.
looks
I don't know
small.
if it says it on the stamping.
What do you think contributed to that?
Was there a,
I mean, why do we think it happened?
Well, if you look back on the pictometry site where you can
It's just-
change years, every
Lows
3
and
years we
lows.
take an overview.
Happened before.
In 2016, there was some collapse a little bit. In 2019, after we cleaned out the ditch, and there was lots of collapse both from the surface pipe to the east and from the outlet pipe there. It looked like, of course, when that shot was taken in 2019, the pipe was underwater because the level of the water was high.
Mm.
But I don't know if it looked like it was angled down too, like it had started disintegrating then. And then 2022, it was 50 foot long, the way I measured it. So it was halfway there
Mhm.
a year and 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I talked to Matt, it sounded like there was like a CMP pipe like holding up the tile, like
It
the
is.
previous fix
Mhm.
that wasn't correct.
Who called it in? Who?
I don't know.
John Sleeper. Mhm.
The owner.
Yeah. So like I said, I would suggest that we have an informational hearing with landowners once we have an estimate, so they kind of know what's happening, what it was gonna take, how much they're gonna owe, because it's not a huge district.
So you don't think
Yeah.
the tile is going into that CMP pipe?
No, the tile should have outletted straight out to the ditch.
Mhm. I think that CMP pipe was just holding it up. Like it was a previous fix in the past just to get it to like bridge.
Really?
To me, it looked like it was probably, they separated where the connection of the tile and the pipe. I couldn't see the tile,
Sure.
so, I don't know. I think that was the outlet, was the CMP pipe.
It's gonna take a lot of dirt.
It's
Yeah.
gonna take a lot of dirt.
You know, they can do their clean out first,
Would you say hundred and
put
twenty
it up
feet?
and de-water it and use it on top,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
you gotta have something to base it.
Yeah.
120 feet long, you said?
I stepped it off about 120 feet. I
Oh,
stepped
right.
I stepped off 100 feet that I could to the top of the bank, but then you need almost, at an angle, you need almost 20 feet more just to get it out there.
It's the hole, it's
And
gotta
so
be
it's
20
that
feet
wide,
wide.
but how deep?
And
Is
from
it?
looking at the pictures, it looks like it's about 6 foot deep, I guess.
Oh, it's
no,
more
no,
than
no,
that.
that's the
It's
very
further than that?
beginning is.
Well, the weeds, if it's been there for a while, the weeds kind of throw things off when you look
Yeah.
at it, but
Right.
It starts 8 feet deep, and it's probably 20
So you
feet
start-
deep beyond that.
Yeah.
that's a lot of cubic feet.
Can you see it from the road?
But you can
Yeah.
see, you can,
The hull from-
on the one picture, you can see where
I don't know
it
where.
sloughed.
Well, they're talking about dipping out of the ditch and hauling that stuff in there.
But I don't know how far you can even clean on the ditch
See,
Oh.
to get some dirt.
just to the east of that is
Yeah.
also.
Because it was
sloughed
just
from
clean
the
not too long
service
ago,
pipe,
so it means,
So it probably doesn't have a lot.
Did you walk out there?
I drove out there on
You
the,
drove on the
on the-
CRP or the?
yeah, there's a path, because Matt and Adam have driven a couple of times, and so.
there's probably a couple 100 foot of filter strip there.
Mhm. Yeah, but then you have to be careful, there's a huge hole by the cave-in, so I told them to put a flag.
Mm,
It wasn't there yet.
Okay, so they haven't been back. But,
Trying to make it idiot proof.
well, they
Well,
just
I
don't
was
want anybody
there.
to
Or
get hurt
sorry,
either.
I was
supervisor proof?
They just don't want anybody to get hurt.
The drone out there and look at it instead of walking.
But you were saying that on the first, okay, so we're gonna try and get, engaged with, Lahar to do this,
Yeah, and they're just supposed to give me an estimate.
and you're gonna send out an informational letter.
Yep, once we have that estimate, so we can have an informational hearing.
Okay.
Because the code does say after 50,000, you need to have a hearing,
Yeah.
so.
Informational hearing.
But it,
Yeah, it doesn't need, I don't need to publish it and
No
things like
public
that.
hearing or anything like that.
Yeah,
so you'll send out letters and you
And
said
I'll
it's
put
a
it on.
small district.
Yeah.
Just a no surprise hearing.
correct.
And that's all on that then.
Okay.
That's all I have for that, yes.
All right. Secondary roads, you're up to bat.
Yep, morning. Update on our staffing situation. As I mentioned, we have a mechanic hired, and he's got a house sold and bought, so we're looking at the first week of October with him, still to pin down a date exactly, but excited for that. We'll be done with interviews early this week for the Lake Mills and the Buffalo Center operator positions. We have an offer out and accepted for the Lake Mills operator position, and we've got to fine tune some stuff there before I tell you who it is, I guess, to let that out. But we should have the same done for Buffalo here in the next day or two. All that is going quite well, I'd say.
The guy coming from up north, family guy or just a
For the
Yeah,
mechanics,
family.
like,
Course,
mom? Oh, is that right?
Teresa.
Oh,
Yeah, but yes, he's got a family, bringing his wife and at least one kid. Dad, kid, so.
just curious.
That's good.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm
Yeah.
happy
That's
to
what
have
we
him
call
back.
that rural return program.
We like that.
yeah.
He ended up with a house in Lake Mills. He was looking in the country, couldn't find anything, but but he's back anyway.
Great.
Yeah. Other than that, we got slurry leveling done around the county, and now Stay Built will be into microsurface as early as next Monday. Remember, they're doing several stretches around the county, about 32 miles, and they're doing from Thompson south to the Hancock County line on R34. They're doing the roads from Scarville going north, east, south. 8 miles there. They're doing from Lake Mills south to the Hancock County line on R74. And they're doing the roads from Pilot Knob north and west back to Forest City. So they'll be here for a little while. That's kind of a big project. All the projects will be done one lane at a time, so it shouldn't be a.
So what was the second to the last one you said? Hancock County line.
R74 from Lake Mills to the Hancock County line, the roads that we hot in place recycled. Will get us microsurface.
Oh, besides what you did, you're gonna micros.
Right.
What's the advantage there, you think?
Well, we're gonna leave a little part unmicrosurface just to see how it
Test
ages, but the hot in place contractors and the industry kind of recommends a surface. So in Iowa, all the projects that I know of to date have actually had another layer of hot asphalt, virgin asphalt put over top of them. So we're trying to see if it can be more of a surface, be more of a permanent surface by itself. But didn't want to gamble too much, I guess, and so kind of following their recommendations.
How many miles will you leave, or?
Just 1,000
just to
feet.
see, 1,000 feet?
Yeah, just enough to
Just
see if, in 5 years or 10 years or 15, when we get to working on that road, if it's
Sure.
made much difference. It takes so long to learn.
Minnesota used to have a section of I-94 where they would detour you off on it. They had a whole, interstate built by the interstate. And then on that, they would have all kinds of different stuff on there for testing.
Yeah, test track, yeah.
So you're kind of doing what, I think I don't think they've used it for years now. But
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we gotta, everything we try, we don't wanna leave a control section so you can eventually, make some better decisions in the future, if possible.
Sometime I'd like to see the numbers on what the process on R74 costs versus what it would have cost to mill cold in place and then overlay.
Yeah, I think I can give you a good number on that, because now we have all the bids in and they're here, and we just gotta kinda add them up. The one north of Lake Mills is one contract, whereas one south, we have hot in place contract, painting contract, slurry leveling I guess that doesn't apply to that road, but microsurfacing contract, rumble strip contract, so there's kind of 4 to add up on that one. But, yep.
Good.
Okay.
And an outside company is doing the striping, the lines.
Right, this year they are, yeah.
anything else for secondary roads?
You got anything maintenance wise? Our rock and gravel run is done, so those guys are kind of doing other odds and ends work orders, things like that, tree and brush control.
We're gonna have edge rutting on spots right now.
So they're working on shouldering or edge rut shoulder repairs up by south of Lake Mills.
Yeah, we're trying to get that spots done right now that they did that hot in place recycling before they do the micro on it, just so we're not so abrasive on that new finish. So we're trying to get that done before they get here.
Yeah, that one spot seems like it's between Rice Lake and Lake Mills. There's a real bad edge rut just going north of the Rice Lake blacktop.
Okay. Yeah, they'll be
Then
there.
when you get to Wilkinson's, it's like it disappears, but it's like there's a strong wind in there that pushes everybody. I don't know if it's sloped a little more there too.
Yeah, there's spots like that, like Like Corey Cox's, it seems like every year there's a spot there. People get off on the road. So. It's been so dry too, it's hard to keep those spots in there. It just seems to blow back out.
Okay, we'll move on to number 3, consider for approval, public purpose statement for retirement plaques.
So we got 3 guys retiring, right? These are the 3 positions we almost have filled now. Neil Sather, Randy Schwab, and Bob Bjorklund are all retiring after quite a few years. Neil after 12, Randy 15, and Bob 20. And this just gives us the authority to buy them some plaques to show appreciation for their service.
Seems like it's longer than that for Randy. That would have been 20, only 15.
He's 15 plus.
Yeah, well, maybe.
More, I think it's closer to 16, but.
All right. It just seems like it was the late 90s when he retired from driving, stroke of muscles, if I remember right.
I'll make the motion to approve the public purpose for retirement plaques.
I'll second it.
Motion by Smith and second by Derby to approve the public purpose statement for retirement plaques. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
With many thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've all given us a little notice too. It's kind of working out pretty good. Bob won't really have any overlap with his new guy, but the others will, so that'll be kind of nice to have them get acquainted with their territories a little bit, do a little
And it
tour.
makes them feel good about it too, I'm sure, you know, and keep ownership of that stuff, and you want it done right when you get new guys.
There's a little less anxiety when you go into it with the guy that was there previous to you, giving you some of the
Pointers.
details or whatever of the job, without the pressure of the people that supervise them there.
Yeah, it's nice to kind of get some of both.
Yeah. All right, then consider for approval final voucher for FM CO 95, 83, 84, 85, 55, 95.
This pay estimate releases the retainage. It's the final payment to the contractor.
It's just a hot place.
Yep, to Destrol, yep, for $25,602. We ended up under the original contract amount by $35,000. So that worked out pretty well. We kind of went according to plan, except for one little hiccup. Their train is so long, by the time they stack them all out, that they weren't able to get all the way up to one of the intersections. They had to leave a little 30-foot piece unrecycled. So we're going to cover it with microsurfacing and
Hope for the best.
hope for the best. In the meantime, they were able to credit us an amount for that. So if we did have to go back in and patch it, we wouldn't, it'd be kind of coming out of their pocketbook, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I make the motion to approve the final voucher for FMCO 95, 83, 84, 85, 55, 95.
I'll second it.
Motion Smith, second Derby to approve the final voucher for, I'm not gonna say it again. Being you said it, well,
Yeah.
we'll let it ride. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Yeah, I thought they did a good job.
They got nice, it cost $3,607.50 for flaggers. Broke down pretty good.
And they earned their keep when it was hot.
Oh, boy, yeah, that's it.
Flaggers make good money. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
tough job, but they
Yeah.
usually get paid pretty well.
There's a pretty good responsibility that goes with it a little bit, but then just baking out there.
Yeah.
It was hot
all
then.
day long, I'm just like,
Yep.
consider for approval utility permit to Animal Corps for tile installation in Forest 34.
You guys remember last year, we did a tile crossing project with Adam, just here on the west side of town. And he's doing some more tiling on that farm. Only way to kind of connect two parts together are to go in front of the acreage along the blacktop there. So it'll be permanently burying a tile in the ditch kind of along the front of that acreage. And then, the rest of the tile work will be up in his field. But since it's a permanent installation, we're treating it like a utility permit. And we told him it needs to be 5 foot deep in the ditch, just like a water or sewer. And to talk with the landowner or person who lives at the house to make sure that, they're working around there. They'll put the driveway back when they're done. Should be pretty straightforward.
Oh. They have to cut somebody's driveway for it, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's just a rock driveway, and it's not in terribly good condition at the moment, so they'll have to go
They'll
through.
probably end up with something better when it's done.
I would think. That's what we'll make them do.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the utility permit to Animal Corps for tile installation in Forest 34.
I'll second.
Motion from Jens Wilson, second from Derby, to approve the utility permit to Animal Corps for tile installation in Forest 34. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. We can move down to consider for approval reclassification of DD 37 and appoint an engineer.
In looking at DD 37, the last time it was reclassified was in 1914, and it's not classified out by laterals. So because we're doing this project, it would be a good time to go ahead and get that done. Make sure we have everybody in the district.
Everybody in the district's gonna pay for this regardless, but
Right, but I want to make sure the
reclassification's
right
good for the future.
people are paying, that if we need to annex people in, things like that, and that way the correct people are going to pay in the correct portion for the repair. And I would recommend Jacobson Westergaard.
I'll make a motion to approve the reclassification of DD 37 and appoint the engineer as Jacobson Westergaard.
I'll second.
Motion from Derby and second from Smith to approve reclassification of DD 37 and appoint an engineer as Jacobson Westergaard. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Open forum. Thank you, gentlemen.
I think the only thing else, that truck did go up to Christ Steel. He's up there.
Getting outfitted or whatever.
Yeah, next couple of weeks, we're supposed to be starting on it, so they kinda look over it and they put it on their straightening rack just to make sure the frame's straight before they start, so. It's,
A new, is that the new one?
yeah, it's a new one. It's just
They
a,
gotta check the frame on new ones, huh?
they've had a few that have come in that are tweaked, so they just double check everything now.
I took the fifth wheel off my 31-year-old truck because I was having rust issues between the frame, and I've got to weigh that pail full of rust I got off of there, but I bet it weighs, my truck is gonna be 30 to 40 pounds lighter.
Yeah,
It was starting to bow out so bad it popped the head of one of the 15/16 head off one of the bolts.
really,
It's amazing that rust has that power.
that's pretty nasty
It
stuff.
was starting to, and I couldn't slide the fifth wheel.
Hopefully in the next couple of weeks they'll get started on that truck and
Yeah.
hopefully we'll be back by time the snow flies.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
When's that gonna be?
When the snow flies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully March.
They were showing
Well, yeah.
they were showing on the news this morning that the earliest recorded dusting of snow in Rochester was September 25th.
Let's hope it's not that soon.
Let's skip that.
Yeah. It's supposed to be 95 this weekend, so we should have a little bit of time.
Yeah,
And
it
a
was
thunderstorm? And a thunderstorm, please?
No,
95 now. Mine said 88.
Terrible.
no,
For
no.
Saturday, my daughter gets married Saturday.
Combine the big
I
window.
want to take pictures outside. I gotta be outside in the dark colors.
Or is it early
Dark.
planting or just burnt up?
I don't think the humidity will be down a little bit from last
Yeah,
week.
yeah, it's not, when I was coming back, flying back from when I lived in California, I had a stopover in, Phoenix. And we coming in, the pilot announced that the vent line might be a little rough because it was 122 degrees in Phoenix. And they say it's a dry heat. Well, back then, we had a 2-hour layover in Phoenix. And I went and asked the guys, and I went out with where all the baggage guys, I'm out on the tarmac with them. You'd never get to do that nowadays, would you?
No,
And I'm standing out there talking to them guys, and I just got dry heat, my, they got guys.
Can I make a motion?
it's hot, it's hot.
Yeah, it almost hurt to breathe.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
All right, yep,
Thanks, guys.
have a good day, guys.
Thank you, stay safe.
I start signing everything, and I got my stamper right here, I can't even remember what it said.
Done with open forum, then.
I have a couple of quick things. Just- I got a call from Thad Wonder right before our meeting, and he hasn't heard any new information or from, I'm assuming Matt Dubay.
Yeah.
So we need to probably put that on next week's agenda to follow up on that. And then the other thing was, I think we need to have some type of a news release because a lot of people are calling me about where the EMS stuff is sitting. Some type of one that we can release to the newspapers and KOW on where we sit right now. So if we could, I don't know if we need to put that on the agenda or who wants to put that together, but I feel like there's
It's probably something we all need to be in agreement on,
on how
the
to,
information.
exactly. So put it on the agenda, please.
What was that called for Thad Wonder?
That was the data
The
mining
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin project.
That's all I have. I make a motion to approve the county claims.
I'll second it.
Motion Smith, second Derby, approve the county claims, all in favor say aye. Aye. Consider for approval payroll claims.
I'll make a motion to approve payroll claims.
I'll second.
Motion Derby and second Smith, approve the payroll claims, all in favor say aye. Aye.
I suppose there's still documents coming for that. We have the one sheet, did all of them come through?
No, the payroll?
Yeah. Were
No,
they,
the
Yeah.
payroll's all in one now.
it seemed like it was fewer. No?
All the,
Well, yeah,
all the departments are there, and then I had given you also the report from Chelsea.
Okay.
Mhm.
So they're all there.
Mhm.
Just seems like fewer. Hopefully they're all in there.
Cause I looked at them right before I came in.
Good.
So for the EMS update for the news release, what do you want that to say on the agenda?
How should we say it?
Discussion of possible action, update.
What kind of
For
update?
new, update on EMS for news release.
What about the EMS? I mean, what are you trying to update?
Inform the public of what's happened with the EMS contract.
Okay, okay,
Just because
Yeah.
we hadn't signed the 2080 or anything before, and
Now it's
Okay.
out, people are
Okay.
asking, what does that mean?
okay, that sounds good, cause yeah, makes sense now.
that's cool.
Thank you.
It's just an easier way to, instead of taking all the phone calls that I don't mind taking, it's just, we had a real
Right.
news release.
Bullet points.
Okay. Is that something, is there still a committee, an EMS committee?
There's an advisory council.
Cause I'm wondering if that's something that committee should be doing?
Well, we're the ones that signed the contract.
Yeah, I just am asking.
I think it's probably they're coming from us since we signed the contract.
Okay.
I just don't wanna be telling
I don't even know
people.
if the advisory council at this point could give those details, because
Okay.
they haven't met since all of that. I
Okay.
imagine they're due for a meeting.
I would think.
When's the next meeting of the
Advisory?
council? When was the last one?
I haven't heard that there is one coming up.
Well, they're quarterly usually.
Yeah,
Last one was in June.
last one would have been in the end of June, so.
Does that still have a co-chair? Is that co-chaired?
I'm guessing,
Yeah,
so end of June, July, August,
So was
September.
it-
So
was
it's
it Mike? Was
just probably sometime this month is when it's, this next month is when it's
Yeah.
meeting.
Good job, guys.
I don't know if you want to touch base with Carla about when the advisory council meeting's supposed to be.
Yes, you won't be here for it.
I know, but I suppose we gotta keep it going without her.
She's the volunteer
Recorder.
secretary person now, but, not volunteer, whatever.
all right, we stand adjourned.